I see that we are live. Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing today? I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Chung. I'm a political leadership strategist, and I'm also the president for Kenley College, where we provide leadership training and strategy for aspiring politicians. Now, you may wonder, if we're talking about aspiring politicians, why am I addressing this issue of Liz Truss? Well, you got to be able to look at things objectively. You got to look at things from where people may have gone wrong, where people may have made the mistakes, and you learn from them. One of the things that we've learned in life is that you learn from leaders, not only what they want you to learn, but also what they don't want you to learn. You learn from what they say to do, and you learn from what they do. You're going to always be learning, and we are going to be learning from Liz Truss. Now, let me be upfront. This is not a video to bash Liz Truss. That's not what this is about, and that's not where I'm going to ever go down that road. I think that she may have meant well. I think that she did a lot in terms of what was going to be good for the nation. Now, there were a lot of loud voices, and there was a lot in the media that didn't agree with her. But if you look at the fact of the average person on the street, I remember listening to something the BBC had tried to do with some on the street views of what people thought when even that first mini budget came out under Kwesi Kwarteng. And they were talking to people on the street, and BBC has a certain bent that is not in favor of conservative views. That's the best way to say it. And they were hard pressed to find anybody on the street, average street, when they did that particular show who spoke negatively about the budget, the mini budget. There was a lot of the small businesses that were in support of that first mini budget, but that wasn't coming out in the media. There was a lot that was going to come out in terms of help for the people that was not pushed. It was more pushed to say about the benefits that the wealthiest group were going to get, as if that was the only group that the Conservative Party was supporting in that mini budget. That was not reality. That was not truth. Now, Liz Truss in particular had to resign. And what I want to talk about in this video is why she had to resign. You see, I'll look at some of the reasons why people may have been thinking it was good. So some people, and let's just get rid of these parts of it. So some people were saying it's because she was involved with, let's say, the WEF, that World Economic Forum. I don't think that had anything to do with why she had to resign. The reality is most of the front runners at the end were WEF supporters. So this is not a case where you had the general electorate voting. In fact, if you understood how that Conservative Party entire campaign went, it had to initially be agreed by a certain group of people, and then it went to the wider party. So you may have had the full party backing certain candidates up front, but they didn't have the support that was going to enable them to go forward to be voted on by the party. Let's stay on track because I could get distracted. So it wasn't a WEF thing. That wasn't why she had to resign. Okay. Some people may have been concerned about her ideological stance politically. Now, Liz Truss may have had a certain perspective in terms of her political stance when she was a younger politician, from when she became more actively involved in politics later on in life, later on in her political career, to where she is now. Let me be frank. If you took where I stood politically when I was in my teens and my early 20s and where I am now, two different worlds. So you can't judge me on where I stood then by where I am now. So I don't think it was her ideological position. I don't think that was playing into this. That's not why she had to resign. I look at it and realize that Sometimes, and a lot of times really, crisis will force a person into leadership. It's almost like the crisis serves as the very reason why a lot of you who may be aspiring politicians, a lot of you may be going into politics because you are faced with the crisis of what's happening in your nation. You may be faced with the crisis of seeing the types of leadership that's in your nation. And that may be why you realize you got no choice but to step forward. Is literally the crisis propels you forward. It may be sometimes, it may be the crisis propels you to stand. Some people, you're just thrust into that leadership position. It is like, it is what it is. You had no campaigning to do. You didn't have to present yourself as a possible candidate. None of that. So that's not what we were dealing with Liz Truss, though. Liz Truss chose to present herself as a candidate for the prime minister of this country. So she wasn't thrust into the leadership and it was just like, well, there's nothing else I got to do. I just happen to be the leader. No, she chose to say she could do what it took to be prime minister. Now, did she have good intentions? I could be wrong, but I truly believe she had good intentions. She saw, let me be frank, she saw the chaos that Boris Johnson put this nation in, and even how that impacted on the economic state of the nation now. She saw the chaos of that, and she realized that the people were crying out for change. So even from that perspective, she knew that change needed to be made. But why did she have to resign? Why did she have to resign if she has all of these small business people being happy with the initial choices that she was making? Not just for the average person, but how that was going to impact their businesses at a time of fuel crisis, inflation crisis, crisis upon crisis. Why did she have to resign? And you may say, well, it was obvious that everybody didn't agree with her. No. It was what the media made you believe. Did everybody not agree with her? Was it just the media who, let's be real, is a pro-Starmer media? Was it the media who wanted her to resign? Was it the media that was putting pressure on her? Was that why she had to resign? Was it because she didn't have support within her own party? Was that why she had to resign? And we could go down a rabbit hole with that, because we are seeing a conservative party that is not conservative anymore, and has not been really conservative in a while in terms of who is in leadership. Boris Johnson showed us that very clearly, that you can be conservative in name only. Yes. But why did Liz Truss have to resign? I think she had something missing. Something that is fundamental to your leadership survival. Let's say your political leadership survival. If you're not going to use force, if you're not going to use coercion, if you're not going to use control, if you're not going to use manipulation to stay in power, and you want to be a legitimate leader, you need this. You need this. And without this, your leadership is practically doomed. Yes, I mean what I say. Your legitimate leadership. That leadership that causes people to want to rally behind you, that leadership that makes people see you are a credible leader. The missing element for Liz Truss was vision. You know, when I was initially asked my take on Liz Truss as the new PM, I could not put my finger on what was missing. And I said, well, and I was trying to be a little diplomatic about it, and to the point where I said, we're just going to have to watch and see. So that might be why you did not really see me saying anything. Because I couldn't figure out what was that missing element. And I see that I saw it during the campaigning, and it had me concerned about the amount of promises and sometimes having to change. And then the worst part was saying certain things we'd have to wait for until she was prime minister. And that made me realize, we had somebody who went into the office of prime minister who possibly had no vision. She was making promises, and yes, some of those were good. But vision is not good promises. Vision is not good intentions. Your good intentions may show up in your vision, but vision is not good intentions. Vision is not plans. Vision is looking at where we are going. It's a destination that you want to take this nation to. It is how we get out of this crisis. It is not just how we get out, but where are we going? Because if I am going through the most difficult, muddy waters, but I have a destination in mind, that I know that I am going to get across the river, my destination in itself will serve as my guide. It will give me hope that I'm going to get across. But if I have no vision, I don't know where I am going. I may know what causes me to jump into the water, but I don't know where I'm going to end up. So what I believe caused Liz Truss to resign was she did not have a clear vision, or any at all. True vision would have let Liz Truss know, above everything else, if she truly had the support of the party. As you know, it wasn't the public that voted her in to be prime minister. Now, she had her constituents who voted her in to be the MP, and she eventually got a cabinet position, but that's not who voted for her to become prime minister. So our system, it is what it is. I know that people will argue, but it is what it is. True vision still would have allowed her to see if she had the support, really had the support of the party on the vision. It would allow her to see if she had the support of other people in parliament on the vision, not the plans, not the promises, which weren't always clear. I'm talking about on the campaign side. True vision was needed. And as an aspiring politician, you can learn something from this. You do not position yourself for a leadership role without vision. Good intentions doesn't cut it. You need vision. Vision is important. Without vision, people perish. Your leadership perishes. Good leadership perishes. People perish where there is no vision. And that's what we're dealing with. It's like there's nothing to guide the process. If there was vision, she could have, let's say her vision was to take us forward, and she had something that would have been in line with that. When the first mini budget was presented, she and her chancellor at the time, the first one, would have presented a budget to her. It wasn't going to be a surprise that it's just released to the public before she sees it. She's the prime minister. She would have been able to say up front, this was in line with her vision. And he could not create a budget, mini or maxi. He would not have been able to create a budget outside of her vision. The vision would have guided the budget. If the budget had lined up with the vision, then she could stand her ground and not do the first of the U-turns. And what we saw was a U-turn after U-turn after U-turn. Why did we see those U-turns? Because the pressure from the media. You can't run a country on the media's perspective. And the media is a pro-Starmer media. The media cannot run your country. Anywhere you are in the world, know this, okay? The media cannot determine your leadership, because the media would like you to think they are the voice of the majority. And usually that is not the case. So if she had had the vision, she would be able to stick to her guns and stick with the vision, because it would be, stay with me. This is where we're going. The people would have known what the vision was. Her cabinet would have known what the vision was. The rest of her parliament people from her party, and even the opposition, whether they agreed with it or not, they would have known what the vision was. But we did not know the vision. And so when she says she couldn't deliver on the mandate, define that for me. Because if you got no vision, what exactly mandate you trying to deliver on? So vision is important, and vision is what caused her the lack of vision is what caused her to resign. So if there's anything you're going to learn from this, remember what I said. Without vision, people perish. Without vision, your leadership will perish. You need vision. She needed vision. And now we're going to, if we bring somebody else in, what's their vision? I'm not talking about their promises. What is their vision? So you got to look at these candidates now in light of that. Because the only thing that is going to take this nation forward is a leader who has vision. Not only do they need to have it, but they need to be able to articulate that vision. They got to get the buy-in of that vision. And what they do, the plans of their cabinet, whoever that cabinet will be, and you choose it. You choose those cabinet members based on how they will support the accomplishment of your vision. You don't choose cabinet ministers who are going to go against your vision. You choose the people who will support the vision, because you want to do what is necessary to accomplish the vision for the nation. So for Liz Truss, I wish her the best. I know this is difficult. I know that. I wish she didn't have to go through what she went through. But we got a nation to run. And we got a nation that is in desperate, I'm talking desperate need of leaders with vision. Because at present, we don't have it. We haven't seen it yet. It's not the way I would like to end this live, but we need to see vision. And that's one of the reasons why even what we're doing with Kenley College is so important to you as an aspiring politician. It is absolutely important because you need to get your vision clear before you're positioning yourself. And if you've already positioned yourself, you need to get that vision clear. If nobody said this to you, if nobody talked about this, because the vision is what's going to guide you. The vision is what's going to protect you. The vision is what is going to make you put in place things to safeguard that vision, including character. That vision is so critical to your leadership plans, your leadership goals, your leadership. A nation does not need leadership promises. A nation is built on leadership vision. I'll say it one more time. Where there is no vision, people perish. Where there is no vision, leaders perish. So I want you to get clear on your vision. And we can help you with that at Kenley College, because vision is critical. We're at a new stage in life. We're at a new stage in leadership where it's no longer about if you're a nice person, if you're a good person, all these nice little words. It's about, do you have vision? Because right now, in the midst of all these crises that we're seeing in the world, people need vision. Okay? So I'm leaving that with you. Whenever you see this video, vision. Vision is critical. And it's because there was no vision. That's why Liz Truss had no choice but to resign. There was nothing keeping her. There was nothing holding her. There was nothing that she could hold on to. Don't let that be your end. But in fact, let vision be your beginning. Okay? Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.